Good afternoon, Jonesboro Rotarians. Good afternoon. We have a really nice turnout today. So thanks for coming. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. And as Robert Gillen is heading over to his spot, he's going to have an invocation.
I'll pray on my feet. Let's pray together. Dearest Heavenly Father, grateful for this beautiful day, grateful for the Thanksgiving season when we could gather with family and just offer up our gratitude for the freedom that we have in America, for the many ways you bless us, Lord, and so we give you thanks. We give you thanks for Rotary and for the opportunity to be part of a wonderful organization, Lord, that does good throughout the world, especially in our community. So, Lord, we thank you again for the fellowship that we have as Rotarians, for the good that we try to do in this community and throughout the world. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Robert. All right, do we have, let's start off with announcements. Well, let's start off with our guests, first of all.
This is my friend Darlene from Pittsboro, and she wanted to come to town to see some things, and so I thought, well, just come on Thursday, then we will go to have lunch with Rotary.
All right, we're glad to have you, Darlene.
Thank you.
Anyone else? I believe that's all the guests. Of course, we have Meg Moss. She's going to have a program today, so we'll give her a huge introduction here shortly. David Miller, good to see you. Let's move on to announcements and start off. David, got anything to say about the Satellite Club? And
We'll meet this coming Thursday, and we did, for those of you who don't know, we did something a little different this year. We took over Liberty Commons, like we call it the senior angel tree. There's so many people that have no one to come see them. They just put them in the rest home and never come around. And so we had 48 names, and my thinking was we were going to give them out at the Satellite Club, and then what was left over, see if we'd get you guys to pitch in. But we gave out all 48 names that night. Everyone took multiple names, and we're going to collect those on this coming Tuesday and deliver them, I think on the 15th, sometime in the middle part of the month.
all right, great job.
Thank you.
Yes, John.
I just want to give another announcement, probably the final one, for the Salvation Army sign-up sheets. What's funny is that pretty much everyone that's in front of me is already on the list, so I probably don't have to tell you this, but we're doing Salvation Army Ringing the Bell December 8th, which is Friday, and Tuesday, December 12th. Same place as always, out in front of Lowe's Foods. There's only 3 slots left for the Friday the 8th, and 2 slots left for December 12th, Tuesday. So thank you everyone for so readily signing up for this. And we're going to hear about the benefits and why we do this with Meg very shortly. But if you haven't seen this yet, it's going around, and it's on the bulletin that you can click on and sign up online, which a lot of you have already done so as well. So thank you for signing up.
John.
Yes, thanks.
Anyone else? Everything kind of normal with the district, Debbie?
Everything is normal.
All right.
We're gearing up for the next round. It's just always crazy when we're starting to gear up for next year.
Normal is good, though. President-elect Chad signed up for pets with a minimal amount of pressure, but I did give him some pressure, though. But so anyway, and I told Chad, I said, John and I will help you through the year. We know he's busy, so when he can't be here, we'll keep things going. So.
Ron appreciates that. Because Ron is under a lot of pressure because the band had 100% last year for pets.
Okay.
So now Ron is like, we gotta do it again.
He's going there. I know he's got a Zoom meeting going on real soon. It may even be today. Pre-presidents, pre-pest kind of thing. So. Bragging bucks. We'll move on along. Anybody have bragging bucks today?
I do.
Debbie does.
So I had the opportunity last week to go to Florida, down to Daytona Beach, the turkey run. I lived in Florida all my life, never was able to go. We always had Thanksgiving on
I've got one if I have.
John's got a dollar. Okay, Dave?
I have twin sons, that are 25 years old, and one of them, Harrison, got engaged, about 3 weeks ago. So, love her, she's a great girl, great family. They've got engaged on the beach in Wilmington, so they both went to school at UCW and met there, she got engaged, so. We're happy for them.
Congratulations, Dave. Terry's got a brag?
No.
You don't?
No brag, but
Okay.
I just want everybody to know when you come out, ring the bell, be looking for me, so don't shy away from the camera, because I want to capture as many people as I can ringing the bell for the Rotary Club. So please don't shy away. And I promise you, I will. If you don't shy away, I'll bring Mr. Bentley with me.
Morning.
All right, I got a brag. I'm glad that basketball season is here. That's all I got to say. Football was okay. Football was okay, but.
We're certainly proud of the wolf pack.
That'll cost you $5. Yeah, Yvonne?
I want to say thank you to Jim Miller. Yesterday, he was the featured speaker at the Pittsburgh Rotary Club, and he did a fantastic job.
All right, Jim.
And I only had to give her $20 to do that.
All right.
Just come down.
All right. Anyone else? All right, well, it's time for our program, and we're going to turn things over to Meg Moss. And everybody in here knows Meg.
That's not true. I've actually met some new people today, which is great.
Well, that's great.
That's great.
Meg is there anything around Sanford that you have not been involved with?
I'm sure that there is.
Past Chamber of Commerce executive, she's Salvation Army now.
Love the Lee County community and happy to have been a part of it for 21 years now. Moved down here from Washington, D.C. and had culture shock to begin with, and now I would never leave. So love being part of the Lee County community, and I appreciate you having me today.
We're glad to have her. And she's also a Sanford Rotarian.
And I'm a
so,
Sanford Rotarian. Yeah.
a fellow Rotarian. So anyway, Meg, we're going to turn it over to you.
All right, thank you. Thank you. And I can talk forever, so seriously stand up and tell me to stop. Like when it's my time, just stand up and tell me it's time to stop. So thank you so much for inviting me. I have been with the Salvation Army for about 9 months, so I haven't even hit a year yet. This is my first Christmas with the Salvation Army. And for those of you who know about the Salvation Army, know that Christmas is a big deal. So we are smack dab in the middle of the holiday season for Salvation Army and loving it. And I have been familiar with the Salvation Army for many, many years, not having anything to do with the Red Kettles or with the Christmas program. But I had a dear friend of mine who was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and she had no income, she had no family, she had no insurance, she was out of luck. And she was able to turn to the Salvation Army for financial assistance to keep her lights on. She really wanted to stay at home during the end of life. And so the Salvation Army was able to help her keep her lights on. So that's kind of how I was introduced to the Salvation Army several years ago. And now that I'm there working, I realize how many other things that they do as well. So one of the things that we do is we work with people who are living in poverty or are experiencing homelessness. And a lot of people are just one paycheck away from being in a homeless situation or having to decide between food and electricity. It's amazing how many people are in that predicament or in that situation. Our mission at the Salvation Army is to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ and to meet human needs in His name without discrimination. We really are meeting basic needs. You're not going to get a sermon from me today. I'm not a preacher. But that is our mission. And, homelessness does not just affect adults. Children are often in the mix when you're talking poverty and homelessness. We hear from school social workers about children who are either sleeping in the car with their parents, or they might be at the outreach mission homeless shelter, or they might be couch surfing and just staying with different friends and family members. And that is considered being homeless when you don't have your own home to stay in. So when adults come to us for food or assistance with rent or assistance with utilities, you have to think that there are typically children involved in this situation as well. And we don't only serve the population of people experiencing homelessness. A lot of people think Salvation Army and think homelessness, but we certainly serve people who are housed but who are living in poverty. There are about 15% of the people in Lee County who live in poverty. And so realistically, like 1 out of 6 people are struggling to meet ends meet in Lee County. According to the U.S. Census, 3,300 Lee County children live in poverty and 1,000 seniors live in poverty. I heard you mention seniors that don't have that are not having their needs met. Thank you. Thank you. There is a real problem, and John knows this, problem with access to affordable housing and emergency assistance such as food and shelter. So affordable housing is an issue because there's really no incentive for home builders to build affordable housing because it costs as much to build a market rate house as an affordable house. So, and once a family becomes homeless, it is nearly impossible to get them housed again because they have an eviction on their record. They've got to come up with the deposits, things like that. So one of the things we do is try to keep people in their homes. And lots of times people don't know what services are available or how to access them. So for housing, there's the Outreach Mission Emergency Shelter. So the Salvation Army does not do overnight shelter. So we have to refer families to Outreach Mission, which does overnight shelter, maybe to Family Promise, maybe to Haven. So we do have resources in the community for people who are literally homeless, but we don't have enough resources for that. But I want to make sure you know all of the things that the Salvation Army does to assist those experiencing homelessness and living in poverty. And I know that you all are familiar with the Salvation Army because you ring the bells every year, which we so appreciate. You support us financially, which we so appreciate. And so I want to make sure you know all of the things that we're doing because it is kind of a wide variety of things that we do. So, who has envelope number 1? John, can you open envelope number 1 and tell us what one of the things is the Salvation Army does?
Should I stand?
No, you don't need to stand, but you can.
But I can. Food pantry.
Okay, thank you. So our food pantry, our food pantry is over at the Mann Center on North Steel Street, and we serve approximately 600 people a month through our food pantry. The way we count it is it's typically around 200 to 250 families, but we count it by the number of grocery carts that literally go out the door. But the 250 families equates to 600-ish people that are being served through our food pantry. And people can come to our food pantry once a month. All right, who's got envelope number 2?
I do. Rent and utility assistance.
Thank you. So yes, we offer rent and utility assistance. This is only available every 2 years. So we are not able to help people who are just habitually late with their rent, but people who have a situation come up and they're short. So we can offer up to $300 in rent or $150 in utility assistance, and that will keep the lights on so the kids can do their homework at night. All right, who's got envelope number 3?
Clothing vouchers.
Yes, thank you. So we have the Salvation Army thrift store on South Steel Street, and there's a couple of benefits of the thrift store. One, it's a great place to donate your gently used clothing items and household items. So it provides an opportunity for a place for people to donate. It provides an opportunity for people to shop at affordable prices. When it's back to school time, many of us in this room know who have children and grandchildren. That is an expensive time of year. So they can so families can go to the thrift store and get good quality clothes at inexpensive prices. We're talking $2 to $3 per clothing item. And then we also provide clothing vouchers to those who experience an extreme need where they don't even have like the $10 to go get a couple outfits. So we do 8 vouchers a week. So 8 families can come to us a week and ask for a clothing voucher, and they get $25 per person for clothing vouchers. All right, number 4. Who's got envelope 4?
And we have Christmas Joy, the Angel Tree Program.
Yes, thank you. It is Christmas time, and we do the Angel Tree Program. We registered 1,003 children this year. We did it in one 14-and-a-half-hour day. Families were able to come. We set up over at First Presbyterian Church because we just don't have enough room at the Man Center. So we set up at First Presbyterian Church. It took us 14-and-a-half hours, but we got 1,003 children registered. 95% Spanish-speaking families. So we had 50 volunteers that day, and about 40 of them were bilingual. And thank goodness for our bilingual folks, because I don't know how we would have gotten all these families registered if it had not been for them. So next week so we registered 1,003 children. We've adopted out 1,003 children. We've gotten all of our children adopted. All of the gifts are due back Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday next week. They come to First Presbyterian Church, and then we have this crew of volunteers. Again, it's probably 50 people that come in and organize and sort all of these angel tree gifts. And then next Friday, we'll have another long day of distribution where the families will do a drive-through. Each family has a number. They drive up, they get their number. We have a runner, runs to the box with that number, brings their gifts out to the car. And it's what we ask the donors for is 2 outfits and 2 toys. And so that's what each family will get per child that they registered, kids 12 and under. So we're excited about 1,003 kids this year. Who's got envelope 5?
Navigation Center?
The Navigation Center, thank you. And you're shaking your head, that's good. That means you don't know about it, so I'm gonna share. So the Navigation Center is located on the corner of 3rd and Maple. And which is where the Bread of Life building is, or the old McKeever School. There's all kinds of names for it. But we operate there Monday through Friday from 9 to 2. And it is a day shelter for people experiencing homelessness or living in poverty. We have volunteers who come in every morning, Monday through Friday, and cook breakfast. Typically eggs, bacon, and grits. There's coffee there. And between 50 and 60 individuals come every day. They get a hot breakfast. We have shower facilities and laundry facilities. We also have a case manager on staff there that can help navigate people to where they need to go to get their needs met. So that's why it's called the Navigation Center. And again, 50 to 60 people a day that we're feeding. People are showering, and the laundry is sometimes it's their clothes because they don't have washer and dryer at home. Sometimes it's their blankets because they slept outside last night. It runs the gamut. All right, who's got envelope 6?
Eviction Prevention Program.
Thank you. This is a new program we have, the Eviction Prevention Program, and we received a grant for this program, and this is for families not habitually late on their rent, but have some kind of one-time life event going on, a medical emergency, a major car repair, something that they have to have an eviction notice to qualify for the program. But it can't be for a family who's continually late on their rent. So if a family comes to us, applies to be in the eviction prevention program, to keep them from losing their home, we communicate with the landlord or with the property management company to find out, is this family typically paying on time? You know, once we get past this bump in the road, are they gonna be able to continue to stay housed? Because that is the goal, is for them to continue to stay housed for at least a year after we provide the financial assistance. And through this grant, we can help a family with up to $1,500 towards their rent or mortgage. It is not for people who are in subsidized housing. We do the rental assistance, and people can be in subsidized housing and still get rental assistance, but this eviction prevention, you cannot be in subsidized housing. And then we also are partnering with the eviction prevention program. We're partnering with Truist, and they are teaching a budgeting during a crisis class to the families that we've assisted. And we've assisted 8 families thus far through the eviction prevention program, and they're all still housed, so we're excited about that. It's going really well. So, how can you all help the Salvation Army? So first of all, financial contributions. Thank you, Jim, very much for the financial contribution you made this morning, or this afternoon. Much appreciated. Thank you. And so without financial contributions, we can't do all the 6 things that I just talked about. Another way you can help is volunteer to cook breakfast at the Navigation Center. We need 3 to 4 people a day. Some churches or organizations have faithful volunteers that come either once a week or once a month, but there's always gaps that we need to fill in. So if you have from 8:30 to 10 o'clock in the morning available, call us and we'll schedule you a time to cook breakfast. It's bacon, eggs, and grits. You got this, people. You can do it. So you cook and then you serve to the individuals that are coming in for breakfast. So again, 8:30 to 10 a.m. Monday through Friday are the opportunities to come in and cook and serve breakfast. You can do a food drive. So I talked about our food pantry, and we serve about 600 people a month. We are always in need of non-perishable food items. But we also have a need for meats in our food pantry: bacon, sausage, eggs at the Navigation Center. We have volunteers that do pickup, so if you all do a food drive, we can certainly arrange a pickup for that. So whether it's your Rotary Club or whether it's at your place of work, you could do a drive at your place of work. Blessing bags. This is another way that you can help. The folks at the Navigation Center often need hygiene items. So travel size, soap, shampoo, lotion, deodorant, toothbrush, toothpaste, and we do them in travel size kits because these people are frequently transient and they're not sure where they're going to be from one day to the next day, so we don't want to give full bottles of soap and shampoo and then they get left at somebody's house that they were borrowing their shower from. So we do travel size. We love when they come in kits, but if you just have individual items, that's fine too, and then we'll pair them with what other people have brought in. Another way that you can help is adopt the angels at Christmas. So if you didn't adopt an angel this year, look forward to next year and adopt an angel either individually or as a group. So a lot of times churches will say, we'll take 50, and Pfizer took 120 kids, which was super exciting. They took 100 and then they called us back and said, we've got people still asking for angels. So they adopted 120. That is not, the ordinary. That's the extraordinary. A couple of churches take 50. A couple of businesses are like, we'll take 3. But it all adds up. It all adds up. And then ringing the bells, which I know from John that you all are doing. So thank you so much. We do ring the bells from Thanksgiving through Christmas Eve, although Christmas Eve is on a Sunday this year, so we'll actually stop Saturday. We don't ring on Sundays. You can do this as your club is doing, but you can also do it as an individual or with your family members or your place of work. And I'm going to pass some of these out. And it says register to ring. It's got a QR code on it. Scan the QR code. It will take you directly to where you can sign up. You choose your location, your date, and your time. And so whether it's for your family, your coworkers, your employees, I encourage you to allow your employees 2 hours off to go ring the bell. But I'll just pass it around. If you want to take a couple to share with friends, by all means. But just scan that QR code and it will take you to where you need to go to register to ring. What else do I want to share with you today? I'm just going to give you a few quick success stories. I don't know what my time is here.
Got a few minutes.
Okay, got a few minutes. There was a woman that we helped. She was working at Pilgrim's, aka the chicken plant, and we met her at the navigation center. She had come into the navigation center. She was sleeping in her car in the Walmart shopping center. So a lot of times you'll see cars overnight at Walmart because people are sleeping in them. She finally got approved for subsidized housing, but she still had to have a deposit. And she did not have funds for the deposit. So if she could get the funds for the deposit, then she was going to be able to pay the subsidized amount because she did have a job. Like she was working full time, but didn't have enough for the deposit. So we were able to assist her with that deposit. She's now moved into subsidized housing, and she's moved from sleeping in her car to sleeping in her apartment. So that's very exciting.
What is Lee County subsidized housing? What are the examples of Lee County subsidized housing?
I might look at John Ramsford.
Well, that's most likely it's the Sanford, Lee County, but that's one of them with
Yeah.
Housing Authority. And it's the Section 8 voucher program, which the landlord gets 2 checks, one from Housing Authority and one from the resident. And that therein lies the subsidy.
Are there any apartment complexes in Lee County that are subsidized?
There are. There's some onesie-twosie individual single-family homes that are subsidized housing, but yes, there are some apartment communities that have a portion of those subsidized housing as well. They accept. You sometimes get calls from people saying, "Do you accept the voucher program or Section 8?" And they're referencing that program of the Housing Authority.
So you might have some housing complexes that have just some units that are Section 8,
Designated, correct.
as opposed to the whole unit
Correct.
development.
And not to get too much in the weeds with that, but the developer who put that community on the ground might have a incentive, federally or state, to do that, to provide subsidized housing. And it was a smart thing to do at the time to provide that many units. And maybe the planning and zoning or municipality said yes because of that.
Thank you for your assistance. Wow. And then I'll give you one other success story, and then I'll hush. So there was a CCCC student, and I didn't really talk about this, but there was a CCC student who had completed all of the academic requirements to become a licensed practical nurse. So she'd gone through school, she completed all the requirements, but she did not have the $200 to take the state licensure exam. And so CCCC referred her to us, and we have a program called Barrier Busters, and those are funds that we have to help people get to that last mile to success. So we were able to pay for her to take that state licensure exam. She passed, and she's now working in a local convenient care, and so we have moved her from utilizing aid to being self-sufficient. So lots of ways the Salvation Army helps in the community, but we couldn't do it without you all. So thank you so, so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I have one question.
Yeah.
On the kettles, how much of that stays in Sanford?
100% of the kettle stays in Lee County. So we have the kettle money, we have kettle coordinators that go and pick up the kettles at night. They come to the man center under triple lock and key, and then we have volunteers who come and count the money in the morning, gets directly deposited into our Lee County account. So 100% of kettle money stays in Lee County. Great question. Anybody else?
One more thing, Meg.
Jonesboro
Rotary Club, we would like to present Salvation Army of Lee County with a $500 gift.
Thank you so much.
This money's generated from our Pots of Gold sales. Thanks for
Jim Miller.
heading that up,
Thank
Mr. Miller.
you.
And so anyway, the smaller size check is I laid over there.
Thank you.
You don't have to take some back. Anyway, congratulations.
Thank you.
Get it? Thanks, Neil.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you all so much, truly. Thank
I got
you.
All right, well, thank you, Meg.
Thank you.
And speaking of Portugal, if you haven't visited me with your money and your stubs, I'm always here.
We appreciate you, Mr. Jim. All right, well, a great meeting, and thanks again, Meg. That was a really good program, very informative. Glad to have our guests from Pittsboro. Come back anytime. We'd love to have you.
Thank you.
And I'll tell you what, John Roundsburg,
Call on me.
yeah, would you mind closing
I
us
remember
with the
the four-way
four-way
test.
test and play?
I'd be glad to. Please join me in reciting the four-way test of the things we think, say, and do. First, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And don't forget, Temple Theater, our Rotary night is
December 9.
a week from Saturday. It's December 9th.
And make sure you get your tickets.
Stop by the box office and get your tickets. The box office opens at 4. If there's I think there's a matinee today, or maybe it's tomorrow,
There is.
but if the matinee's there, the box office will be open
That's
also.
correct.
So. And I'll be sending out pestering emails about that for the next week. So anyway, great meeting. Glad to have everybody here.